One day, I was scrolling endlessly on YouTube when a video caught my attention. The thumbnail was super creepy, with some guy stuck in a narrow space and the title something like "Exploring Deep Cave Solo Gone Wrong." I asked myself, who the F goes cave diving? Seriously, I just learned how to swim in a pool without looking like a drowning cat, and now someone was out there swimming in the darkest, scariest hole in the ground. Was this like a new form of extreme sport, or just an audition for the worst version of Survivor? Naturally, curiosity got the best of me. So I clicked and got completely hooked by the story. Honestly, it was pretty disturbing. I mean, the stories about cave diving accidents were like the worst kind of horror movie. Some guy gets stuck 300 feet underground, runs out of air, and, spoiler alert, dies. Which honestly was the least surprising thing ever. At this point, I'm like, okay, that's one way to check out a life. That marked the first video in what would become an entire binge-watching spree. I watched all the cave diving disaster videos. From the blue hole in Belize, a tourist nightmare, but hey, it looks cool on Instagram, to the tragic story of Sheck Exley. Seriously, Google it. Dude was a legend in cave diving, but spoiler, he didn't make it out. But after days of indulging in this dark rabbit hole of how not to die in a cave, I came to a realization. First, cave diving is not a good idea. Second, I realized there was a striking pattern in all these videos. There were no black people in any of the cave diving incidents I'd seen. I mean, cave diving is apparently the one thing where the black community collectively agreed. Nah, we're good. It seems that we're not sharing the, hey, let's go spelunking into the abyss for fun vibes. Now, I had to ask myself, why the pumpkin is this? Am I missing something? I mean, did I stumble upon a secret white people club for the most extreme of extreme sports? I had to dig deeper. So, naturally, I did what any rational, curious person does. I started researching. I didn't just go on Google, I went deep. Let's talk about this for a minute. There are a lot of dangerous activities out there. Ever heard of base jumping? Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like, jumping off cliffs for fun. You'll find people skydiving into canyons, parachuting out of planes, and, you guessed it, jumping into caves. Yet, again, where are the black people in these extreme sports? Let me explain. It's not some secret conspiracy where cave diving is white people's business. It's much simpler than that. It's about access and culture. First, there's the whole cultural access thing. Many extreme sports like cave diving often originate in more affluent societies where people have the time, resources, and support to engage in such niche activities. Cave diving, for example, grew in popularity in Europe, particularly among adventurers in the United Kingdom and the United States. Extreme sports in general often suffer from a lack of representation of minorities. People are more likely to pursue things they see others doing. And historically, there's been a gap in the visibility of black people in adventure sports, like cave diving. Now, let's talk money. We're talking about expensive equipment, specialized training, and travel to the most remote and dangerous spots in the world. You think someone's about to fly to the deep caves of Mexico or the Philippines for a weekend getaway. For fun? And for what? A chance to get stuck in a submerged tunnel? Nah, bruh, that's not our weekend vibe. But seriously, this isn't to say black folks don't enjoy thrills. Cave diving is just not a mainstream thing for the black community. So, it's not about race per se, it's a mixture of economics, culture, and access that's kept cave diving, like many extreme sports, as more of a white-dominated activity. Now, let's get real. Are we missing out on cave diving? Well, maybe a little. I mean, it's got its perks, like exploring parts of the earth that nobody else has seen. It's like being in your own personal adventure movie, minus the lava pits and giant spiders. Plus, remember the whole Thai cave rescue? Those kids were stuck for days, but thanks to a team of expert cave divers, they made it out safe. So, I guess cave diving can save lives. But let's not forget, they wouldn't have been stuck down there in the first place if they hadn't decided to explore a cave. It's like deciding to take a shortcut through a haunted forest, because why not? Until then, I think I'll stick to my own adventures, like surviving the line at Popeyes, or trying to sneak out of a Zoom meeting without anyone noticing. Now, that's a real-life challenge. To wrap it up, I guess the reason you don't see the majority of humanity cave diving is simple. We just don't have time for that kind of stress. We're not into suffocating 500 feet below ground for a thrill. We'll be over here enjoying life above ground, in the sunlight, where we can see, breathe, and maybe go skydiving if there's a nice tropical resort involved. So next time you see a cave diving video, just remember, we're good.